Today's the day. We're going to start choice art. There's a few things you need to know before we begin about setting up, getting your name on your paper, where do you go to get supplies. So I'm going to discuss a few of those things with you before we get started.
Art with 5 studios open. Green is drawing. Red is collage, where you cut and glue to make a flat picture. Blue is painting. Sculpture is purple. Sculpture is building with paper. It's making 3-dimensional artwork. And yellow is fibers, which is stitching. If you choose drawing, you'll get a green stick from the container and take it back to your seat. The drawing studio is located in the back of the room by the window, where you can see all the green. You can choose your paper from the shelf, then write your name on it and class code. Usually you start your drawing with a pencil, but later you may want to borrow a Sharpie from the studio. The supplies in the cans with the green smiley faces are clean. After you've used something, when you bring it back, please drop it into the dirty box, which is the red one on the shelf. You are welcome to try out using one of our drawing books if you're in the drawing studio as well. Use your own crayons and markers to color in your picture. Please let me know if you don't have any markers. I can loan you some. The second studio we opened was collage. Collage is when you cut and glue pictures to a flat surface. Remember when you make a collage that you will need to cut out and arrange shapes and glue them down flat to make your picture. Notice the collage studio has a lot of red in it. First thing you will do is you will choose a background paper. You'll take one paper from the paper shelf and you'll put your name and class code on it. Next, you'll choose smaller papers so that you can use those to draw on and cut out your shapes and arrange them on your paper before you glue them down. If you need to borrow a glue stick, there's a green basket with clean ones, and you just put your dirty one in the red basket when you're done. The third studio we opened is the painting studio. The painting studio has blue sticks, and if you look around, you'll see that there's a lot of blue in the painting studio. Where the blue rectangle paper is where you will find the paper for painting. You'll take one piece and write your name and class code on it. I also like to sketch out my idea on my paper with a pencil before I get my paint set. When it's time to get supplies, you'll get a tray with watercolor paint. You'll get a bowl of water and one clean brush. You'll take it back to your seat and then you can begin. The purple studio is the sculpture studio. In the sculpture studio, you'll make 3D art. Here's our sculpture sign. You can see some folding and cutting techniques on that. Here's our sculpture studio. You will get your paper from the purple tray and to write your name and class code on. That is your base. The small papers to build your sculpture are in the purple bins. You can borrow a glue if you like. Just return it to the used bin on the bottom when you're finished. The final studio is the yellow studio, Fibers studio. In the Fibers studio for first grade, there's burlap, yarn, and needles. For second and third grade, I will move the piece of material up to show the shelf that has felt, thin needles, and string. In first grade, you can practice your running stitch. In second and third grade, you can practice your running stitch or your overstitch. Before you begin in the Fibers studio, you'll want to write your name and class code on a piece of tape. Well, that's all our studios. So now we are going to choose our stick and get our name and class code on our paper. While you're waiting in line, have about 3 studios in mind in case you don't get your first pick today. Remember, we're going to do choice art all year, so you'll have plenty of chances to get into the studios you most want to work in.